Hello, good evening everyone. This is Yukaro14 back with another video. Today we're going to be focusing on Blue Protocol Star Residence, our Shield Knight series. So today what we're going to do is we're going to continue going forward and trying to see about making it to at least level 30 or if not level 40 by the end of this video. If you guys have any comments on what I should focus on in terms of for my professions, I would really appreciate any of the thoughts in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get on to it. Yes, so right now, as far as I'm concerned, right now I'm really liking the idea of being a tank in Star Resonance for the Shield Knight because I heard a lot of good things about the class. Although I'm still kind of skeptical about my, I would say, rotation, since I still am learning a lot about the game and as well as the classes. So I'm actually kind of curious to see about, especially since I heard that after the first talent tree is finished, you're basically forced to pick a spec. So like I said, a lot of WoW elements there because it has a similar system, but at the same time too, it's basically kind of its own system in itself. So I'm actually kind of excited to see what other specs is it gonna make me pick when it comes to the Shield Knight. I wonder if there's gonna be a spec if I'm gonna have to either become like a full Puron tank or if I'm gonna have just pure damage. So that's one of the things I'm kind of curious about, but at the same time too, I'm kind of looking forward to know whether or not it's actually gonna be something meta or if it's gonna just be something just out of the blue that maybe potentially is good, or if it's just going to be meh. That's kind of why I'm wanting to know about it, just in case. But right now, so far for the content, I actually looked at some things that were really interesting, and not gonna lie, when it came to like a few things that I was noticing, one of the things that I ended up noticing was that when it comes to Blue Protocol, sure, some of the content is kind of time gated, but at the same time too, I wouldn't say it's exactly all that bad, because then I like to just enjoy myself going through the content and okay, well that was awfully nice. Very heartwarming. So I do like some of the cutscenes. Let me see. Nah, we're gonna go rest. Yeah, but like I said, don't expect me to do a lot of the story. I'm just mainly wanting to level and to see what exactly I can get in terms of levels, gear, and whatnot. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not gonna try to even bother with all of the dialogue right now. Okay, archive, story, not really interested. So yeah, just skipping a good amount of the story is just something that some people would probably care about. Like, hey, you know what, don't skip the story, because if you end up skipping the story, you're not gonna understand what's going on. Me, I personally don't care for the story. For me, one of the things that I more care about is just trying to make it to one of my most max levels possible. And then once I'm able to do that, it'll actually help me out with a few other extra things. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, I heard that a lot of questing is what actually gets the XP in. So I'm mainly going to be doing questing, and then I'm also going to try to see how much of the actual space for these other life skills that I can possibly use. So right now, what I'm mainly just trying to do when it comes to life skills, I'm gonna actually see what I actually have. And yeah, I'm gonna skip the cutscenes as well, because like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. And me personally, I'm not really much into wanting to see the actual cutscenes themselves, unless it's like very okay. Yeah, I'm skipping that. I do not want to go through these. the sooner I can get to my levels, the better. Skip that. Okay, let me see. Oh yes, so back to the life skills. One of the things that I'm planning to actually do in terms of the life skills that I have, let me see. Since right now I can do autonomy, I can just basically do all of these, but the ones that I'm gonna mainly focus on would probably be, I would say, smelting, or if not smelting first, it would probably be mineralogy and gemology, because and we're talking about farming and making a good amount of Luna, which is basically the currency in this game. I already have a full strategy on what I'm planning to do, and I will be posting about my strategy of how I'm gonna be farming these said things. But if anything, what I'll probably do is I'll explain those strategies in a later YouTube video, like about the best ways to actually farm gems, the best way to farm ore, and then a few other things as well. So as far as I'm concerned right now, I'm just trying to get as much of this in, because right now, okay, I'm barely level 23. I believe that if I skip a good amount of the story, what I'll be able to do is I might be able to make it to at least level, I would say 40 before even like 20 minutes or so. And yeah, and then I have not done dungeons yet. Me personally, when I think about dungeons, I'm just thinking, okay, are dungeons gonna be challenging, or are they gonna be relatively easy? I heard that dungeons are actually a bit tough because, as I said before, since this system is very reminiscent of World of Warcraft in the sense where obviously some things are kind of time gated, but at the same time too, not everything is gonna be open on launch, and it's been a couple of days since Blue Protocol Star Residence has launched. So I heard that a lot of dungeons have boss mechanics, which I'm actually kind of excited about, because it's something that I noticed that a lot of people want in terms of a challenge. And personally, for me, mechanics that actually make it to where it basically shows who has skill and who doesn't really have skill. And personally, for me, one of the reasons why I want to be a tank, I wouldn't even say it's a particularly selfish reason. It's just more of like, because I noticed that a lot of people tend to be more DPS in games. So for me, one of the things that I've actually been wanting to do is that I just thought about it and decided, you know what, if I want to get content done faster, why not be that one link that everyone's gonna want? That's why I'm going to be a tank for my shield knight. And then also I am gonna be thinking about leveling up other classes probably in my own time. That's gonna be for another idea of a video of what I'm planning, but so far from what I'm aware of is there are some things that I've actually noticed that are really interesting. So okay, we're just gonna go ahead and skip all this. I don't want to go through all of this right here. If anything, what I'm probably gonna do is, just to kind of balance it out, I'll probably play one DPS class, one healer class, and then one tank class, just so then that way I can balance out the amount of characters that I have. Since I noticed that when it comes to doing this kind of content in the game, and especially for account wise, I heard that you can only do a maximum of, I think, 3 characters. So that's why first character, obviously, as you see, my character is a tank. My second character will probably be a mage, and then my third character, who I'm planning on having as a healer, will just be a healer class. So there are still some things that I still have yet to do. Like I said, I have not done dungeons. I'm really excited for that. World bosses, I'm not too sure about world bosses yet, but I heard that world bosses are insanely tough, and that people can actually get one-shotted, so that actually kind of excited me, because most games you would be at least decently overpowered, but in that version, when it comes to world bosses, I was not expecting that people would get almost near one-shotted. I think even tanks can also get one-shotted if they're not careful or they're not properly geared. So that is also something that I'm looking forward to when it comes to doing a big boss fight. So obviously I'm kind of excited to see what I can possibly do as a tank. And then as far as I'm aware, when it comes to other stuff, in terms of autonomy, when it comes to life skills, stuff like that, right now, as far as I'm aware, I have not seen a high demand on it. But one of the things that I have noticed is that the more content that is released, the more, I would say, the more that the market is gonna increase, because certain items are gonna be high in demand. And then not only that, but the fact that when certain raids are released or certain content is released, certain items are gonna be very, very high in demand. Then obviously one of the things I've noticed is that when it comes to players, you want to have a monopoly of those very items that are gonna be, well, monopolized. So for me, one of the things that I know is probably going to be monopolized in a way in this game is probably going to be ore, alchemy, and then gems, because those are going to be very important. So it's very basically interesting. And then, yeah, I'm still kind of getting used to the controls, so. Okay, there we go. And then, yeah, I'm still kind of getting used to these abilities, so I'll see hopefully how far I can actually go in terms of what I'm actually doing. And then apologies for the poor gameplay. I'm still not used to Shield Knight. It's still something I'm gonna have to get used to, but right now, as far as I'm aware, I like the fact that every class is kind of unique and that I don't have to be auto-attacking every single time. So at least that's a really fun, good thing to know. And I'm also planning on maybe joining a guild, depending on if I'm able to actually make a guild of my own, which I'm hoping that's the case, but if not, then I'm just probably going to make my own guild, and after that, see about recruiting people, because I don't like the idea of joining a guild that is not mine and then basically not being able to really do much of like the content or having to do like group activities and stuff. So I'm hoping that I can maybe find a good community in this game that will actually help me out with doing in-game content, doing gathering, or just doing guild activities in general. So far, graphics are still good. So far, I haven't had too much lag, so I give Star Residence an additional point from the other two that I deducted from the last time. And right now the game is actually pretty relaxing. And then if anyone is looking for a tank, then yeah, I'll be more than willing to sign up to be anyone's tank, whether or not the guild is small, whether or not the guild is big, or in between. Okay, well there was some lag right there. Not exactly something that I like, but what can you do? Then right now I'm level 26, so okay. So I can't jump over these parts, but okay, yeah, I see now. I don't know why we can't just jump over certain fences when there shouldn't even be any invisible walls, but I guess the devs just don't like fun. It is what it is. And then Okay. One of the things that kind of disappointed me was that I didn't see a class that said blacksmith or like a weaponsmith. Not really something that I'm really excited about, mainly because I wanted to see if there was blacksmithing or if there was weaponsmithing. I would have enjoyed it a lot more because making weapons and making other gear, that's like one of the most exciting parts about an MMORPG, is that different roles. And not to mention, I mean, the food is good. I'm not sure about when it comes to alchemy. I'm hoping that they actually make alchemy actually very viable, like when it comes to doing enchantments, or if it just comes out to other content. Okay. And then yeah, right now I'm just looking more at the kind of stuff that's actually going to help me make gold, or as they call it, Luno. Because right now the market's not as bad yet, and I'm hoping that it stays that way, but I already know that it's probably going to shift within the next couple of weeks when the game's getting more non-time gated and more content starts being released. So I'm kind of expecting that that's what's going to happen. So I'm trying to get ahead of the curve, and my plan is to farm as much ore, trying to get as much mushrooms or plants, and also to get as much gems, because I know that once someone makes a guide, or if not, or maybe if no one makes a guide, or if someone just finds a strategy that's just able to make a crap ton of I can very well be rest assured that everything is just gonna go up insanely in price. I know that one of the items that are most likely gonna be really up in price are gonna be the and what else is it gonna be is that it's going to be a form of, how would you call it? Let me see. Yeah, one of the things that I would say is gonna make the most amount of money is going to be obviously books, because books are super important. So, and I heard that books are very hard to come by, especially because the more weapon skill that you have, the better that you'll be. So, and then, oh yes, I heard that there's player housing in the game. I have not really seen it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be added in another. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be added in another form of maybe like a future update or so. I'm honestly wouldn't even be surprised. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and skip this, and then there we go. Okay, there we go, and then yeah, well, one of the reasons why I'm skipping the story is I heard that the story's not even that good to begin with. So, and I heard that one of the things that mainly people want to do is just like the end game content, which would be considered like the raids or the dungeons, because that's where like all the good content comes in. So it's very interesting to note. Yeah, I think for maybe healer class, I think I might be like a, I don't know if Bard would count as healer or if it would be the other class. I forgot what was the name of it. I would probably have to look it up later, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still learning about stuff in the game. I'm still learning about where gems, ores, all of that are located. And for me personally, this might be the one game that I'm actually going to be free to play completely, because I've seen the cosmetics. The cosmetics are not really what are gonna drive me to actually progress more, since I noticed that more of just the outfits themselves are just mainly like the gacha. So, and for me personally, I'm not really interested in the gacha of this game. As you all noticed that when I saw everything, I just thought, you know what? Why am I gonna want to spend on gacha? Yeah, personally, it's just not that fun and not that good. If it was more like weapon gacha, or if it was more like armor gacha, not cosmetic appearance gacha, then I would have been more happier, but it's just not something that I'm really interested in, so. And then the season pass, nah, I'm probably not even gonna do the season pass either, mainly just because of the fact that they're basically charging kind of like the same amount for like games like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, all of those other games. They all have like a gacha season pass. Me personally, I don't really find it as viable unless they're gonna have like actual rewards that are interesting to me, which one of those rewards would be books. Another one would probably be ascension material, all that other good stuff. And I would say that would be about it, so. And then I'm also excited to play Dual Knight Abyss because I know that's gonna come out near the end of this month, so I'm actually kind of excited to see how that game's gonna go, because that's gonna be one of the games that apparently is not gonna have any sort of gacha whatsoever, so I'm actually excited to see how far it can go since it's considered a non-gacha. They're kind of taking a big risk because, as you know, there's a trend that's going around saying that there's not a lot of the gachas have been failing, and not to mention with them wanting to go in a new direction where they're going gacha less. It's a big massive gamble, because if they're not, as a company that is gonna do Dual Knight Abyss is not careful, they can basically run themselves under. So I'm honestly hoping that when Dual Knight Abyss comes out, it actually is worth what it's actually doing. And then another game that I'm also planning to also cover in terms of content will probably be Anata. Before it was called Project Mugen, but yeah, but the fact that it was considered as anime Grand Theft Auto, it also kind of has me excited, because I'm actually kind of curious to see how the game's actually going to be when it fully releases. And then I think there's a few other gachas that are coming out, but I haven't really heard much updates on those ones, so it's like one of those things. Let me see. Oh, yes, I believe it was, yeah, here it is, gear. And okay, yeah, this, switch all of this into the better gear, because I do not want to be wearing hand-me-downs. Okay, there we go. Nice. And then for skills, okay, so there's Radiance, Aegis Ward, and let me see. Okay, so Blade of Justice, Valor Bash, Radiant Infusion, Shield Toss, or as I would like to call it, Avenger Shield. Then Reckoning. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know how to feel about this, mainly because I see these different abilities, but I also realize that, like I said, this is very World of Warcraft adjacent, mainly because these different spells, or these, or as they call them, abilities in this game, they're all basically WoW related. So I'm honestly kind of surprised that Blizzard was kind of shameless on this. I'm not even gonna lie. Or no, I wouldn't even say Blizzard is shameless. This game is kind of shameless because it copied Blizzard, because most of those abilities are literally abilities from World of Warcraft's Paladin class. So I'm honestly kind of surprised that this game even had the balls to cover something from Blizzard Entertainment. I mean, not that Blizzard's had a good track record themselves, because they've not exactly had the best run-ins. So right now, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, this game has copied a lot of different things. The only thing that this game really has going for it right now is just the pure animation. And then after the pure animation, yeah, just the abilities. And I'm gonna see about maybe if these abilities are actually pretty good. I'm gonna think about seeing about experimenting with them, because the sooner that I can experiment and see what each of these abilities are good for, it'll probably help me out with my rotation, because I do need to see how I'm gonna fare when it comes to dungeons. And when it comes to dungeons, I definitely don't want to be on the bad receiving end. Okay, let me see. Yeah. My abilities are... they're not the greatest. Okay. There we go, we managed. Okay, we're level 30, so now... we're looking good right now, so we are possibly going to make it to level 40 today. And yeah, the quests themselves, despite skipping all the dialogue, all the stuff that I'm not really interested in, at least the good part is that a lot of the XP is actually really useful, so I don't really have to worry about having to really struggle with leveling. I heard that leveling is going to be a lot tougher though, because since everything's kind of time gated, it would basically mean that not all content is going to be available, and I think it's only for accounts, I think, if I remember correctly. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and see what other abilities I might want to use, just in case. So I'm gonna go back to life, or not life skills, I'm just gonna go back to skills really quick. Right now I have Radiant Infusion. I have this one. I believe this is my ultimate. Then this is... okay. So here's what I'll do. So... Reckoning. Okay, I have the... or... never mind, I had it right here, so... okay, Shield Toss, I already did that. Okay, Sacred Blade. I'm just gonna read back on these really quick. Okay, Sacred Blade. Radiance. And Aegis Ward. Oh yeah, this is not exactly a good thing, because I need all of these abilities, so I would say this would be good for defense. Okay, so this interrupts, so this would be a good ability to keep. Reckoning, I wouldn't even say it's a good ability, to be honest. Judgment, yeah, Judgment. Let me see. Okay, so kind of heals. Sacred Blade, Radiance. Yeah, I would actually need Radiance more than I would need. Let me see. We'll remove Judgment, because Judgment is not going to be needed as far as I'm concerned. And Sacred Blade, yeah, it gives a barrier, so let me see. Reckoning, Shield Toss, this, yeah, I can't exactly skip any of these, so I'll see what I do with all of these other ones. So right now, let me go ahead and let me see. Okay, yeah, I'll just keep what I have right here. I want to see just how far I can go with these abilities, how good they're gonna be in terms of tanking and mitigation. Okay. Okay, so this is dialogue I can't skip. Okay, just try to get as much of this done as possible. We'll hopefully make it to level 40, and if not, then I can just leave that for another video. And then, okay, what is going on here? Okay, maybe we took a wrong path. Let's put, okay, there we go. It could be a switch to a secret passage or a trap. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, I got your back. Okay, and then, Okay, very intriguing. I was not expecting that. And then, okay, so this is what's going on. Oh, the okay, let me see. Just to clear out all of these. Okay, yeah, I actually like how the abilities actually look, so that's actually pretty cool. Okay, go ahead, skip all that, and then yeah, for Shield Knight, they should have just renamed it Paladin. Yeah, they should have just renamed it Paladin, because that's literally what this actually is. It's just basically Paladin. And then, as far as I'm aware with all this, I mean, architecture looks pretty good. I like the graphics right here. So I would say the devs really did good with all this. And then, okay. Skipping this, and I remember I did this before, so all right, there's that. So let's see what happens if I do this. Or okay, never mind. Looks like I can't actually skip it, and right now, wow, I was not expecting all the carnage right here. This is something I was not expecting, to be honest. So, and what is? Why do I feel like this is gonna be a massive boss fight? Okay. Okay, so that's how it works. Goodness gracious, my aim is so bad. Okay, and then, okay, nice. Okay, nice. So this actually does a lot of good for tanking. So right now, oh yeah, okay, that's very good. I'm actually liking what I'm seeing right here. And then, oh yeah. Awesome. So from what it looks like, yeah, if it just helps me taunt, then you know what, that'll actually be a whole lot better. Yeah, because the more that I can keep aggression, the more helpful it'll be for me in the long run. So I'm actually really happy about that. And then, okay, level 34, nice. And then what I'm probably gonna also try to do in my off time is that I'm most likely gonna go around exploring other zones and seeing what else is gonna potentially happen. Okay, there we go. Skipping all this. I don't care for this right here. Oh, okay. Wonder what's going on here.
Dembel. タルトラウまさかお前がアステルリーズ人と群れるとは失望したぞ。デンベル、そんな話をしに来たんじゃない。
ティナ、戦争を止めたいと言っていたな。その願い、私が叶えてみせる。今がその時だ。
Okay, we'll just go ahead and skip right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at all of this, so let me see. Okay, so it says unlock memories. Okay, dream on, no one's puppet. I'll defeat Astro leads by my own will. Okay, so what these memories are showing is that this guy's got beef with other people, so Yeah, you're not into wanting to destroy something unless something has absolute beef with you. So I wonder what happened in this guy's past that actually made him so pissed off. And I heard that it's not going to be revealed until like later on in the story. I think from what I remember correctly, it has to do with him, I think, if I remember correctly, being captain of the guard. Said I could be completely wrong, but... Why does that sound like someone from like something from Honkai Star Rail? Or no, not even Honkai Star Rail, just like Honkai or Genshin in general.
それすらも捨てるか。
私は裏切ってなどいない。エリアス。そうだ。私は負けぬ。アステルリーズのすべてを払ばす。
怒れデンベル。その怒りに応える力を与えよう。
Goodness gracious, he looks like a Dark Souls boss. Okay, so that's the end of that. So, not gonna lie, just from an aesthetic, from how he looked, honestly, he looks like a very good villain. So I'm actually really excited to see what this guy's gonna do. Yeah, Denville. Just his aesthetic alone, he already looks like a really cool villain. So I'm actually really excited. And the fact that he was gonna kill one of us actually got me really like, wow, okay. Okay, so right now, as far as I'm aware, yeah, a lot of void, a lot of obviously betrayal because it looks like betrayal, hatred, resentment, and a few other things. Yeah, and then so far I haven't been invited to a guild, but I'm actually just planning to be solo for the meantime. Once I'm ready, I'm probably gonna start actually making a guild and then trying to get people to join my guild, because I remember I was watching one of Braxophone's videos, and he said that when it comes to one of the most important things you have to do in a video is that, or in the game itself, is you gotta find a guild and join as quickly as possible, because guilds are actually very useful. So I'm actually curious to see exactly what benefits do guilds offer that I might need, so. And then, not to mention, I actually thought that mounts were gonna be something that I would have to buy. I'm actually kind of surprised about that, but at the same time too, I'm also kind of grateful, because some people said that they don't like really doing the whole thing with the mounts. Or...
十分な巨食エングラムを吸収できた。デンベル団長、あなたの悲願がつい。これが力を取り戻した姿か。幾年もの間守り続けた。感じるぞ。この身にみなぎる力を。 今こそ悲願を果たす時。デンベル団長、精神守護者どもを殲滅。無論精神守護者を、そしてアステルリーズそのものを終わらせる。この日をどれほど待ち望んだことか。今度は貴様らが全てを失う番だ。今すぐ全軍を集結させろ。アステルリーズへの総攻撃を開始する。はっ。
Wow. Okay, hide and seek. Very intriguing. Gotta make sure you don't kill us, and then... Okay, well... There we go. Yeah, he really got packed up earlier. Said to be one of the strongest, and yet gets packed up like that. So... That's kind of disappointing, but... Yeah, I got caught off guard, so what could he really do?
我らの悲願が今成就する。アステルリーズの終焉は近い。
まさか奴は巨食エングラムでこの場所の封鎖を早く脱出しないと。あっちに抜け道がありそうだ。急ぐぞ。
Okay, so now we're out of here, so... Okay, level 37, nice. And then, right now, where am I? Okay. We'll go ahead, teleport. We'll go ahead and get all of this done, and then... We'll see how much more content that this will be. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the only main villain. Since there's obviously other regions, they're probably going to try to expand as much as they can. So it's actually going to be very interesting to see how all of this is actually going to go. So, see. Okay, yeah, I'm not jumping over that. Go ahead, speed things up. So then that way, the sooner that we can do this, the sooner we can go in further with what we need to do, so. Okay, nice. Okay. There we go, and then, okay, gotta go back downstairs. Let's see what other things that we have to do here. Okay, yeah. No, skipping this. I do not want to talk to, I don't want to talk to him right now. Just his design alone just makes me cringe. Okay, so episode 3. Okay, so right there, episode 3, and then we'll check the report, and then okay, good to know. So right now, okay, we gotta go all the way over there, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to find the teleports. That way, the sooner that I can get them, the sooner it'll make traveling around this place a lot easier, so. Okay, I already did this one, so. And then there's the one over there, so I'll just probably go ahead and get them in my own time. Yeah, and then most likely once I finish doing my full-on gearing up and getting to max level, what I am definitely going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and I'll actually start streaming on Twitch because I actually want to see what kind of stuff I'll be able to get. And then after that, I'll see about what else I can do, because right now, from far as what I'm concerned, is that there's not going to be a lot of, I would say, world first. I don't even think the game's going to be at that level yet anyways, so yeah, but things are always going to be subject to change, so I'm actually kind of interested to see what they're going to do with more endgame content, because I think right now they mainly have world bosses. I don't know if they've added raids yet. If they do add raids, I'm hoping that they do, because I want to see what kind of good raid content that they'll do. And then also for gemology, I am going to be farming a lot of gems, because I know that when it comes to gemology, most people are going to want stats. And once again, taking from World of Warcraft, as I used to be a WoW player back in my day, one of the things that I can basically see happening when it comes to this game is that if they decide to make it like WoW in terms of making professions kind of similar, or as they call them in this game, life skills, it wouldn't really surprise me if some things are kind of just taken as inspiration. Okay, there we go, and then okay, skipping all that, and then okay, so I'm almost gonna be close to getting there, so okay, so oh, okay. I'm already ready to throw down. There we go. Killing them really quick, and oh my goodness. This guy's already gonna trigger me. Okay, so are you gonna move or what? This guy better hurry up. I don't know what's going on right now. This quest better not be bugged. I will be mad if it's bugged. Because it's telling me to escort, but he's not moving, so that's what's really getting on my nerves right now. Oh, sweet mercy, please don't tell me that this was bugged. Okay. What do I have in wardrobe? Okay, just the bread. I have a feeling my thing just got bugged. Yeah, that is not cool. Okay, yeah, there they are. Still not moving. Okay, my MS is really bad right now, so maybe that's also what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, because he's not moving, so okay, Asteria Plains. Let me go ahead and leave. Yeah, I'll go ahead, I'll leave the instance and then I'll just restart it because, yeah, I think it got bugged, so. Okay, there we go. I don't know what was up with that, so. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's probably what happened then. I gotta be extra sure that these traps don't end up getting them, because if not, I don't want this thing to bug again. It was already a pain the first time. Oh my goodness, this guy is gonna piss me off. Okay, there we go. And okay. Oh, so that's how it works. Nice. Okay, and then gotta save this, because if not, it's gonna give me issues later on, and I don't want to have to redo having to travel all this way. So yeah, that was annoying that it was bugged like that. That was definitely not cool. And then okay. Then I heard that Ironia herself actually like gives you a lot of useful plus, so.
負傷者 大丈夫
Well, I'm dying. Nothing new out of that.
無知な奴らよ。何時らは大きな罪を。
Okay, yeah. That is already annoying. We first saved the guy, now he's acting like a crazy maniac. Ah, but I mean, guy's already a crazy maniac. What else was gonna be expected? Gotta get a good villain somehow. Okay. And now, what are we doing next? Okay, level 38. Nice. And then, let me see. Okay. I was not expecting that, but okay, nice. Okay, what's happening here? Whoa. What the hell is going on here? Okay, so now with that settled, we gotta go all the way over there. So let me actually see. Okay, no, I can't go over here the old-fashioned way. Or actually, you know what? No, I can over here. Okay, so right now it wants me to go all the way over here, so. Okay, nice. Login has expired? What the heck? What do you mean login has expired? Okay, well, you know what? I guess we'll just leave it at that then, because apparently the game just decided to say log and expired. Well, if anything, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate, really appreciate the patience, and I'll continue the series on my next video. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.